right, hello students. We're going to take a look at working with proportions and how they are used in word problems today. Now, just a reminder, a proportion is where you have a fraction, like maybe 2/7, and it's set equal to something else, maybe x over, let's say 14, for example. Now, this is called a proportion. One way to say that is 2 is to 7 as x is to 14. So 2 is to 7 as x is to 14. So in saying it that way, hopefully you kind of get the sense that the 2 and the x are of the same unit, and then 7 and 14 are somehow related, maybe the same unit. So it might be 2 inches is to 7 miles as how many inches is to 14 miles. Now, you might be able to do this problem in your head, and that's fine, but I want to remind you we've talked about cross multiplying here. So you would do 2 times 14, that's 28, equals 7x. So you end up taking 28 divided by 7, x equals 4 would be the answer here. There is a nice little shortcut, and I've heard teachers call it the triangle before, the triangle, and here is the triangle right here. So you take the hypotenuse part, you multiply these two numbers, and then you divide by where the right angle is. So for example, in your calculator, you could type 2 times 14 and then divide it by 7, all in one step, and then you don't have to solve an equation and stuff. So you are more than welcome to do that kind of little shortcut in this section. I have no problem with that. The goal here is to get the right answer with units, so let's get right to it. Preston earned a total of $10 by selling 5 cups. So see, you have this relationship. $10 goes with 5 cups. So I'm going to write that down. 10 is to 5. So $10, I'm writing dollars over cups, by the way. 10 is to 5 as, okay, let's keep reading. How many cups of lemonade does Preston need to sell? How many cups? So it sounds like we don't know cups. If he wants to earn $16. So dollars is on top. Cups is what we're solving for here, so I'm going to put that on the bottom there. So we get, I feel like I'm going to sneeze, so I apologize if I do here in a second. 80 equals 10x, and we're going to divide by 10, and we get 8 equals x. Now I can't just put a circle that. I need to write my final answer, which is 8 cups, right? 8 cups. They were asking us to figure out how many cups. Don't be afraid to underline important information. Let's move on. Number 2, Polly prepared 20 kilograms. That's a lot of dough, by the way, for their restaurant, apparently, after working 4 hours. So we're going to do kilograms on the top and then hours on the bottom here as far as our setup. So I'm going to put 20 is to 4. That's kilograms is to hours as kilograms is to hours. Well, let's see what the other information. How many hours? Oh, okay, we're looking for hours. Did Polly work if she prepared 50 kilograms? Now remember, kilograms are on the top, so I'm going to set it up like that. Okay, we could do our little triangle trick. So x would be 50 times 4 divided by 20. And that comes out to be, it'll be 200 divided by 20. I think we can all do that in our head, hopefully, is 10. 10 hours of work. That's a lot of work. All day making the pizza dough. Speaking of pizza, we have another problem that involves pizza. And I actually want to change this a little bit. I want to change this to 1170, please. If you can burn 1,170 calories in 2 hours of jogging, how many hours will you need to burn off a large pepperoni pizza, which I looked up? It's around 2,300 calories. So how much running would you have to do? Well, let's see. Calories is to hours as calories is to hours. So it just so happens my x is in the denominator. No problem there. We can still do this. So we multiply this way and then divide by 1170. So you go to your calculator, you type 2 times 2,300, that's 4,600, and then you divide by 1170. So 4,600, oh, there's an add there. 4,600, whoops, I got it clear. Let's try it again. 4,600 divided by 1170 equals, there it is, 3.93. That's what I thought my memory was, but I just wanted to be sure. I didn't confuse you. So what are the units on this? Well, these are hours. So put a box around it with the units and everything. Only 2 more to go. See how quickly this is going? Jack. Jack stands 6 feet tall and casts a shadow of 21 feet. All right, so not to be confusing here, but we have the sunshine up here, and it's casting a shadow of Jack and the tall thing. In this case, it's a street lamp, okay? The Jack is 6 feet tall, and the shadow, it says, is 21 feet. And then the shadow, we can get out some tape measure on the ground, and we could measure the shadow to be 50. Well, you know what? We can use math, no ladder needed. We can use math to solve how tall the street lamp is. These are called similar triangles. They are exactly the same shape because this angle is the same as this angle thanks to the sun. And you don't really need to know that here. You might remember it from geometry. So we can set up a proportion. Height is to shadow as height is to shadow. And sometimes I actually say that out loud that way so that I make sure that I get what are they called? The fractions. That's what they're called. The fractions set up right. So 6 times 50, that's 300. So I'm going to take 300 divided by 21, and let's see what we get. 14.29. And what is the unit on that? That would be feet tall. So the lamp post, no ladder needed. We were able to figure out exactly how tall it is just by measuring the shadow of a guy named Jack and the shadow of the light post. One more here. Here's another classic one. You have a map, you have a map, and each inch represents a certain distance. Well, in this case, 4 inches, if you read it carefully, 4 inches represents 100 miles. That's called the legend or the key. If you measure the distance on the map as 13 inches, 13.25 inches, how many miles will that be? Well, it's going to be over 300, oops, I have my units wrong. There should be 100 miles. That's why I was starting to confuse myself. So I see that 4 times 3 would make 12 inches. So I'm thinking it's going to be around 350. Maybe 3.5 times. So let's actually solve it by going to our calculator. 13.25 times 100 divided by 4. It equals 331.25, and the unit on that is miles. I can't tell you how many times I've been looking at like a Google map or something, and they don't always have the legend down there, but when they do have that key down there, it's really helpful because you can sort of guesstimate, is it 100 miles, is it 200 miles, how far is this city from this city, and you can kind of guesstimate it without actually running the directions. Well, I hope you got a good review of how to do word problems with proportions, and now you can jump on and do your assignments online. All right, good luck. Hey, great to see you guys. We'll take care.